Following the detection of the new COVID-19 variant in the country, the Health Department or DOH says all inbound travelers who test positive for COVID-19 will be tested for the more infectious variant of the virus. Before this, the country only did random genome sequencing of the samples of inbound passengers who test positive for COVID-19. As this develops, the Philippine government is also extending travel restrictions on 34 countries until January 31 in an effort to curb the entry of the B.1.1.7 variant of the virus causing COVID-19. The following countries are facing travel restrictions until January 31. The restrictions mean non-Filipino travelers coming from these countries will not be allowed to enter the Philippines. Filipinos will be allowed to enter but must undergo a strict 14-day quarantine regardless of a negative swab test result. A Manila court orders the arrest of Rappler CEO Maria Ressa and reporter Rambo Talabong for cyber libel. The story in question is about an alleged corruption scheme at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde, where students allegedly paid 20,000 pesos to pass their thesis subject. It was published on January 23, 2020. Judge Maria Victoria Soriano Valladolid of the Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 24 issues the arrest warrants against Ressa and Talabong on Monday, January 11, and recommends bail amounting to 30,000 pesos each. The cyber libel complaint was filed in October 2020 by Benilde faculty member Ariel Pineda. A student accused him of accepting payments in exchange for passing their thesis subjects under him. In his complaint, Pineda says, Talabong's story contained libelous, malicious, and defamatory statements to discredit, demean, and to shame him. During the course of writing the story, Talabong says he sought Pineda's side 4 times, but the faculty member replied only once. In an email, Pineda said he would consult his superior first before giving comments. He never responded again. Ressa was not involved in the writing and editing of Talabong's story. Both Ressa and Talabong were able to post bail. Talabong notes, the case proves that decriminalizing libel is imperative and no journalist should be intimidated for doing his job. For its part, Rappler says in a statement, it stands by the story and the rigorous process that we went through before publishing it. It notes, libel suits are a tool used to intimidate journalists who expose wrongdoing. This is Talabong's first arrest warrant and his first libel case, while this is Ressa's 10th arrest warrant and her 3rd cyber libel case in less than 2 years. 3 months after he was ousted as Speaker, Peter Cayetano accuses the House, now led by his rival Lord Velasco, of being preoccupied with politicking instead of helping address the coronavirus pandemic. On Thursday, January 14, Cayetano and 6 of his allies say they formed their new group, the so-called BTS sa Kongreso, because the House leadership would rather focus on issues like charter change instead of probing the government's COVID-19 vaccination plan. Cayetano says the BTS sa Kongreso name is technically not the name of their bloc, but just a call for Congress to go back to service. The moniker earned him the wrath of the fans of South Korean boy band BTS. Cayetano ally and fellow lawmaker Mike Defensor claims their bloc has many sympathizers in the House leadership who are upset because Velasco supposedly ordered to stop congressional probes in the chamber. Less than an hour after Defensor's statement, Velasco's office announces the House Committee on Health will be probing the Duterte government's COVID-19 vaccination program. But Velasco ally Senior Deputy Speaker Doy Lechon says Cayetano is just being bitter for losing the speakership battle. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence vows to ensure a safe transition of power to President-elect Joe Biden, 8 days after supporters of U.S. President Donald Trump laid siege to the U.S. Capitol. Pence made the remarks before a security briefing at the headquarters of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and during a meeting with National Guard troops guarding the U.S. Capitol, where Pence was among top U.S. officials forced into hiding during the attack. Pence says Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris would be sworn in on January 20 in a manner consistent with our history and our traditions, and in a way that gives honor to the American people and the United States. Trump, who does not plan to attend the inauguration, is the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice, as 10 of his fellow Republicans joined Democrats in the House of Representatives to charge him with inciting an insurrection in the Capitol assault. Meanwhile, Biden unveils a $1.9 trillion stimulus package proposal on Thursday, January 14. Biden campaigned in 2020 on a promise to take the pandemic more seriously than Trump. Facebook users and pages are circulating a quote card falsely claiming that presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said poor people have no right to be choosy over COVID-19 vaccines since they are a burden to the government. The claim is false. In a Facebook post, Roque dismissed this quote card as fake. There are also no statements or reports that prove he said the quote. The style of the false graphic is similar to the quote cards published by GMA News. Upon checking the GMA News Facebook page, Rappler finds that a photo and description used in a post of the news organization was digitally manipulated. GMA News quote card contains a quote from Roque's January 11 press briefing. Roque earlier said health workers, the elderly, and indigent persons who refuse the first available COVID-19 vaccine will lose their priority slot.